Hello. Thanks so much for joining in tonight. I am Dr. Lisa Wiedemann, an optometric physician for over 33 years and discovered the carnivore way of eating 15 years ago. March 9th, 2009 was a very monumental change in my life, and so grateful for my diligence in internet web surfing because I was in such a bad spot, coming from 30 years of a very significant sugar and carb addiction, disordered eating, yeah, disordered relationship with food for sure. And I know some of you have asked how I came to carnivore, and there's so many videos out of when I've been on different podcasts and YouTube. So they're just type in my name, but that's the gist of it. I came across Zeroing In on Health, run by Charles Washington, and this was before Facebook and Instagram, and I ran into this crazy little group of people on a crazy little forum that were just eating meat and drinking water and resolving so many health issues. And fortunately, there was a couple women on there very open to talk about how this resolved their disordered eating. And I was all in. I thought, well, I'm not so sure this is going to work out or be healthy, or I don't know. I had that why that made me cry, that just inwardly said, you know what, just trust it, just do this and keep researching from this day forward as to how valid this is, and be your own N equals one experiment. And so, yeah, I came through after having thousands and thousands literally of day one, where I'd be on track. And, I knew about the no sugar, no flour. That was all well and good until I was binging on dried apricots, and every other strawberry I would clean for my kids went in my mouth, and still not understanding what was wrong with me. And so I'd get on track, and then I would fall off because I would be derailed. Because I use this term often because I just find such humor in it. But when you switch off of ice cream and cookies and you say, okay, no sugar, but you switch to fruit and dried apricots and artificial sweetened things, I say you just switched seats on the Titanic. You're still going down. And of course, this is my experience. This is for me. I know for sure there's no moderation of the taste of sweet. And it can very quickly, when you think you can have just a bite, or you get confident because you've been staying on the right track for quite a while, and then you are put in a position where you're triggered, or where somebody is strongly encouraging you or saying, come on, you can't say that you're never going to have this for the rest of your life. You're never going to eat chocolate. You're never going to have cake or ice cream, and you start giving yourself permission. And a little thing like that all of a sudden is a cheat meal, turns into a cheat weekend, turns into, oh my gosh, it's been a few months and I'm still not on track. So, it would be forever another day one. Okay. It's whatever it happened to be. I was like, it's okay. It's 7/7, July 7, 7/7. That's a good day one. I'll remember that, and this will be great. And it just happened over and over. And I just want to reach out and have this discussion about having a reset and having a challenge, because in my experience, for me, it was so important to have others who were doing something with me, and that there was a starting point where I could say, all right, this is what I'm going to do. And with the support and accountability and help and ongoing discussions with others who are doing this with me, I know I will stay on track. This is the reason why I'm so passionate about having a group where I meet 5, sometimes 6 times a week, and we talk and we discuss what our plan was, what has happened, positive or negative, where we're going, how we're going to tweak. And we have in my group now a quite a few who are very motivated to start August 1st on a adventure of what it is to you as far as where are you in your journey? Are you ready for lion diet? I also talk about lion adjacent because some are scared off from the lion diet. Basically, ruminant meat, salt, and water is a very scary thing for people who are addicted to coffee, still addicted to stevia, who can't imagine that in their current situation they could do it. I say, okay, let's do your version, which we're going to call lion adjacent. Maybe yours is ruminant meat and eggs and salt and water and coffee. Maybe you're not ready at this point in your journey to think about whether you need or want to give that up, or the why. And I'm always here just to educate and explain um, different ramifications of different choices that you make. And the people who join in and do a challenge, it's shown that much more highly successful than if you sit at home and say, okay, I'm going to do lion. Maybe 3 days in, there's something that just sets you off, and there you go, and you give up. But when you have people who you're talking with face to face on live Zoom meetings, and you talk about it in between, we have constant contact with group chats and private chats and ongoing meetings. And there's a point where you just have to decide that you're ready to make a change and psych yourself up and say, because here we are, July 23rd, we've got a week to plan and prep and get yourself ready to alter what you're doing. Switch your plan to try to progress yourself to your optimal health. And thank you so much for joining in. I see so many, I see some people who are in my groups over in here. So hi, Cordelia from Albany, New York. And then I just hosted a carnivore beach retreat that I do each month here at my beach home. And I have people who have attended the beach retreat who are so now motivated to August 1st kick it up to one of them is going full bore lion, full straight on lion. And I am, that's what I'm doing too. I'm going to get back into it because, yes, for me, I'm going to tell you, I feel like I need a reset because I do fall into the cheese trap because cheese is no bueno for me. And I tend to need a reset and a challenge to get off it. It is so addictive. I handle it. I don't have a negative reaction to it. I don't get acne. I don't get congested. I wish I had a very bad negative reaction because all in all, it is not good for me. And I do believe that dairy is a negative for anybody with autoimmune issues, anybody with weight issues, anybody with addictive, non-sober behavior around food issues. And that's one of my favorite phrases is the sober behavior. I don't have sober behavior around a fresh ball of mozzarella cheese. I don't. I cut off each end and then I start working my way in, and it's just not safe around me. There's the same lack of control that I felt long ago around bread and pasta and cookies and ice cream. And I want peace around food. I want you all to feel freedom and peace and being limiting. When we limit our food choices, I hate to use the term restricting because that sounds so negative, but when I limit down to food items that I feel total sober behavior around, steak, ground beef, I don't binge on that. There's such a feeling of peace and freedom when you set your mind to, this is what I'm going to do for this period of time, and I'm going to see how my body reacts to it, how I react to it emotionally and mentally, and make a decision after the 30 days. You can do anything for 30 days. Suck it up, buttercup. You can do it. And just dig your heels in and say, I'm going to do it no matter what. No alcohol. And if you're thinking about doing the lion and doing it in the serious intended way, which is for really truly for an elimination so that you can determine what your body does and does not react to. Some people react to eggs and don't even really realize it. Some it's just the egg whites, but just eliminating them for a period of time can be so beneficial. Hi, Rose from Northern Ontario. I Thanks all for joining in. So Phyllis Porter says, here, I can pull this over. Look at me go. I can't have dairy in the house. It calls me from the fridge. It is so strong for me too, Phyllis. There's, it's the opioids and the casomorphines, the casein proteins. Yeah, some of us are very, very strongly addicted. So let me keep going. Monica says, yes, dairy, a big problem for me. Won't budge with cheese. Yeah, your August challenge doesn't have to be lion. It could be a no dairy challenge. And that's huge for a lot of people. And some people will say, I'm going to do no dairy, but I will still include butter. And that's huge for a lot of people. I have already done lion and I know how amazing it feels for me and how at peace I feel. So I'm jumping back in and doing lion. Let me see what other comments I have here. I can do lion for a couple of days as a reset. Then I go back to B, 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 and E. So beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. So Janny, that's fine too. The for and my question to you is then, when if you need a reset, I'm assuming that means you strayed from B, 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 and E and now are needing a little, let's say, mini reset to get yourself back into B, B, and E, because there's no C for cheese in that. Yeah, okay. So Karen says it's the cheese curds. Yeah. I mean, I really haven't met any cheese I didn't like. So it's been a problem for me for a long time. And let's see. Monica says I crashed and burned this week on my journey. It seems like I'm always starting over. Okay, yeah. So we have to really understand the significance of our relationship with food, that it's compounded the physical, chemical connection of the addiction and the emotional side of it, where we are turning to it to either fill an emotional void, or we're turning to it because we're stressed or angry or bored or procrastinating. There's, so many different reasons where we emotionally, through our entire lives, have started to learn from a very young age how to either get a dopamine hit from the sugars, how to console ourselves. And a lot of us, we have a lot of stress in our lives. We all do. There's always going to be stress, though, and we can't use that as an excuse to turn to our DOC, our drug of choice, right? We have to always remember that it is abstinence, no different than an alcoholic or a heroin or cocaine addict, this is serious and it's not recognized as that. So when you're out and about and everybody's laughing and eating and offering it to you, it seems like it's such a fun, silly, let's just have fun. And it's so serious. It's like I really take it very seriously. I cannot let myself lapse because I know I'll be right back in that ditch. And, the saying goes, we are all only 2 feet away from that ditch at all times. So you have to have a plan in place all the time. And we were talking about this in my group the other day. This woman is off for the summer and she's already sort of panicking about heading back into school because the back break room is just full of candy and treats. And she's going to avoid that trigger by bringing her own food and staying out of the break room. And, one of the things that I say about, because I had that situation where I worked, there was that back kitchen break room, and there was always baked goods and candy. There was always something out, but it was a table and a kitchen where everybody also ate. But um, I would in the morning, I have a nice, like a Hydro Flask thermos. I'd put boiling water in it while I was cooking up some ground meat, whether it's ground pork and ground veal and ground beef mixed together, or whatever the combination was, and dump the boiling water out, put the piping hot, fresh cooked meat, seal it up. Off I went to work, and I didn't have to go into the break room. And these are the kind, I mean, you might think like this is like quite a thing that you are doing here. This is really silly. This sounds like disordered eating. Why can't you just go and enjoy lunch with everybody? And it's because I really had to take it seriously because it was that much of a problem, and I do not want to ever have a day one again. So, um, let me keep going into the questions here. Maureen says, "Oh, that's so me. 100 day ones. Yeah, I had thousands. It just didn't stop. I just had a very, very difficult time. I didn't have the concept way back that this wasn't an addiction and I was just relapsing every time I was falling back into it. So, let me keep pulling some questions here. Christina says, hello from Maryland. Been super strict for 4 weeks, high ketones, and the weight's not moving. Discouraging, but hanging in. Okay, Christina, I'm sure you're probably at least 4 decades into life here, 40 years, 50 years old. I have no idea, but you cannot think for a moment that your body is going to just miraculously do what you want in 4 weeks' time. And yes, you just have to stay consistent. You have to trust and believe that this is working. You pick up your steps, make sure you're walking 8,000 to 10,000 a day if you're really serious about wanting to make a change. Don't get discouraged. The other thing, I have 2 videos on my YouTube channel that, and remember, it's just click on the live tabs. That's where they all are. That are with Fred Hahn, the weight expert, right? And I did a whole video with him. That was great. And then I also did a demo at the gym. And make sure you're doing that. It's twice a week for 30 minutes. It's so important. So if you're not lifting weights, you have to do that. Come in the group and let us all get to know you, and let me talk about different options and see what happens as time goes on. All right. Actually, I had one person in Instagram when I threw out the question box of Ask Me Anything, who one was asking about fertility issues and how can they resolve that. And Dr. Robert Kiltz is the guy for that. He's amazing. He's a reproductive endocrinologist. He's carnivore himself, and he has been helping so many women with PCOS, all sorts of infertility issues by attempting to guide everybody into this healthy way of eating. Because you have to remember, our bodies are here to evolve. Our bodies want to stay on earth and be healthy. And we just have to get out of its way. We have to stop putting all toxins in our body. And when I mean all, if you are serious about changing your current situation, if you're serious about improving your, let's say, thyroid, your hormones, your weight, your depression and anxiety, your autoimmune issues, your skin issues, your gut issues, your arthritic, painful joint issues. If you're serious about that, you want to make a change, you have to be willing to make a change. And I'm going to tell you that, in my opinion, from my experience of coaching for 15 years, most people don't want to do what they need to do. They don't want to give up alcohol. They don't want to give up caffeine or tea or coffee. They don't want to give up their keto treats. They don't want to give up their stevia. And you have to understand that there's nothing easy about this. The rules are simple, but execution is not easy. It really does take a lot, because here we are creatures of habit. We like routine. We also like to feel like we belong and we fit in. Oh, we're going to grab some coffee. Oh, or it's happy hour, or let's go. And it's sometimes really difficult to, let's just say, buck the system and be your own little, unicorn, because it doesn't feel good to not feel like you're accepted, because drinkers want to be around drinkers. And why are you not drinking anymore? You just say, you know what? I realize I don't feel good when I drink. And that's really how it happened with me. I used to, have a drink. I was never a heavy drinker, but I would have a drink going out to dinner with friends. And I got to the point where I really just said, why am I doing this? Alcohol is a carcinogen. Alcohol is a toxin, especially to your liver. And when you really start, if you make the effort to go down the rabbit hole with alcohol, it's really important to learn how much of a toxin it is. It's a very accepted toxic substance, just like sugar is a very accepted toxic substance. And it has to be your decision to not put these toxins in your body anymore. And it's not easy. If you want to really get healthy and you want to make changes quicker, then you make some hard choices quicker, and you at least do a total elimination and get down to the bare bones of, I'm a firm believer in lion diet to get you into a reset, get you into a place where your body is healing. You get into ketosis and you start feeling better, and you start realizing that food is not really everything that we have really been, I guess, indoctrinated to believe. It's family traditions, it's socializations. There's so much surrounding our habits with food. And to get to the point where I'm just so happy just having my burgers or having a steak, and it's no longer central to everything. Because the discussions are always like, where are we going? What are we bringing? What are we having? And it's so centered around food. And for those of us who have issues with food, it makes it very difficult. All right, I'm going to see if there's a couple more questions, and then I'm going to jump off. Rose says, I love the slow burn workout at age 61. I like knowing I won't be injuring myself. Yeah, because all of the motions from start all the way, you keep doing this slow until time under tension, you get to the point where you cannot move it another inch. So you're not injuring yourself. You're not swinging a kettlebell. You're not risking shoulder injury, back injury, hip, knee injury. you are moving so slowly, and it's so effective of a workout because at that point of what we could call muscular success or muscular failure, where you cannot move it, you are then engaging all three types of muscle fibers, and it's signaling for them to get stronger. So I like that 2 workouts a week is enough, and it only takes 30 minutes. It's so I agree, Rose. It's so perfect for my life too. I did not want to have to feel like I needed to be a gym rat and be in there 4 or 5 days a week for 45 to 60 minutes. I tended to then not go, like, because I'm the type that if I can't do it right and I'm not doing it right, then I'm just not going at all. But this is really such a perfect thing. So, and I will throw out here that if anybody is coming on our Carb Sober cruise, so excited about this. Yeah, I'm hosting a cruise, and if I will be working out, it's a week-long cruise, so I'll be at the gym twice during that time. I'm inviting any and everybody who wants to come and be sort of tutored on the whole slow burn method and do your workout with me. That would be awesome. Um, yeah, I'm really excited. There's more than 50 people already signed up for the cruise. I've had discussions. Our cruise uh, consultant, he's so awesome. He's already been in touch with Royal Caribbean. He's notified them that under my direction, we are all allergic to oil. We're all allergic to seed oils. We can't have our food cooked in seed oils, especially the bacon. Because if you watched me last year, no, it was this year in February, I was on a cruise with my mom and I had a discussion. I recorded it and it's on my Instagram feed because just thought it was really interesting, confronting this food service officer who was, in a very official uniform. And I approached him and I just said, look, can you help me out here? I need to learn about the food at the buffet and the food in the restaurants, and particularly the bacon. Is that deep fried? Oh, yes, 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 it is. It's deep fried. And so from that point on, I had a special uh, situation where I picked what I wanted, and they take my cabin number. And when I was seated for any of my meals, I had already pre-ordered, and it was seed oil free. So for this large group, we are potentially going to have a whole section of the main dining room set aside for us, reserved tables of 10. I think maybe it's going to be 60 people. I don't know, 6 tables of 10, and different meals will, intermingle. And but they're under already advisement of our group situation that we are heavy meat eaters. Bring some extra meat on this ship, and that yeah, we can't have any oil. So we're going to cross our fingers that this all goes well. When I get on the ship, I will be speaking with the food service officer also, in addition to them already knowing ahead of time. But so the point with this is, number one, it's going to be great to be knowing, hopefully, that we're going to have very healthy meat, seafood, egg meals. And it's an opportunity just to get together with others who are like-minded, others who are on a mission to not be derailed by the dessert buffet for the first time, maybe in their life, going on vacation where they always give themselves permission and come home 5-10 pounds heavier than when they left. This is and this is not the Gestapo. Everybody's free to have what they want. Especially, I said, everybody's welcome. Your friends and your spouses that you might bring on the cruise, everybody's welcome. All bread eating, salad eating people are certainly welcome too, because I look at this as an amazing opportunity for family members, close friends who might have always sort of been rolling their eyes at your crazy carnivory. Now, all of a sudden, seeing 60 people in the room eating like you, talking like you, and who knows? We never know what's going to happen on these things. Maybe we'll get some converts over onto our side. Here, let me put up the information. Hang on just a sec. Do I have it here? Okay, so this is the information for, oh, yeah, so I have information for both the membership group if you want to join into the challenge that, and in my groups, they don't run month to month. You join anytime, you leave anytime. You could join today and you'll have the week lead up of us talking about the challenge, and you'll be able to be in the meetings and talk with me and discuss your plan for your challenge, and then roll right into our August challenge. And then what else did I write there? There's also a link to get information to join us on this upcoming cruise. Yeah, I have the link. I have the link for the cruise in there too. So it would be great to, I'm so excited. There's some of you who I have known in this internet world for quite a while, or have been in my groups, or have been steady, let's say, friends in the chat that I will actually get to physically hug, and I can't wait. And this is one of them, Miss Carrie, who wrote, I get to work out with me in February. Yes, on the cruise. I cannot wait to see you, Carrie, and wrap my arms around you. This is going to be so much fun. I can't even like imagine why I didn't think to do this sooner. And I'm also going to say that you'll see if you are interested and you click on that, that link, that this is not a cruise where during your at sea days, you're in lectures all day. Nope. We are out on the deck in the sunshine. Deck 12, I believe, on this Royal Caribbean ship is the sport deck. We're going to meet up there in the mornings. We're going to be connected. We're already in a WhatsApp chat group, and I'm going to start actually holding live Zoom meetings for everybody who's joining into this cruise, so we can actually get to know each other. And I've already seen people writing in that that chat. There's some husband and wives that already booked their cabins, and they're looking forward to meeting others. There's a bunch of first-time cruisers, which is really exciting too, because I really like just how outdoor a cruise is. Like, I spent a lot of time outdoors pretty much all day, every day. It's just so fun. And obviously the scenery is beautiful. You're just cruising in the Caribbean in the middle of winter. So, but yeah, that's going to be really exciting to start getting to know everybody. Oh my gosh, I'm already lost here in the, oh, hi, Dave in Mesa, Arizona. You know what? I go out to the Scottsdale area, and I had a meetup in Scottsdale last September. So maybe there'll be another one coming up. I have a very, very close friend who lives in Fountain Hills, and she helped me arrange and host. I think it was, I don't remember, Texas Day Brazil, I think there is in Scottsdale. That's where we had it. So hopefully I'll get to meet you one day, or maybe you'll come on the cruise. Also, Cindy Hess says, if anyone can, try to attend one of my retreats. I just attended her last one. Thank you so much, Cindy, for the wonderful review here. Thanks, Doc, for my new workouts and knowledge. And yes, no more coffee or cheese or milk. Oh, Cindy, I know, it's just, it's awesome. I can't believe that, you know, we had a lot of discussions here last week at my July beach retreat here. And, you know, we talked about how it is not easy to make these changes, and that and just like I said at the beginning here, when you set your mind to something and you set it as a challenge and you set the time frame, and then you just do it. Cindy, I know you are very strong-willed and you've been at this a while, so I have no doubt that you're well on your way Um, Janice says she's cruising tomorrow with a friend. Awesome. Wow. So tomorrow's Wednesday. So you're getting on a ship on a Wednesday. Maybe you're doing a 3 or 5 day cruise because they usually leave like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday for a 7 or 10 day cruise. But yeah. Um, Let me keep pulling some questions over. Ketovore Candy says, I saw your prior video on slow burn, trying to implement. I have spinal muscular atrophy and I'm fighting my body to build muscle and documenting it on your channel. Yeah, it's just slow motion with a heavy enough weight that it causes you to fail at 60 to 90 seconds. And we're not competing against anybody else. All we're doing is slow motion and reaching muscular failure. That's where you have success. So, uh, well, Wally, ribeyes, have them bring lots of ribeyes. I have not really had that scenario where, see, now I've cruised quite a bit. I'll have to count out the total I've been on, but I'm going to guess, I'll have to count. I have them all written down. Maybe it's up to, I don't know, 12 or 14. And so quite a few while carnivore. The beautiful thing on the ship is you've paid your price and you get to eat and they don't limit you. They do have specialty restaurants where there's a little upcharge. They have a steakhouse and I think you pay 20 or $30 at extra for that meal, gets charged to your cabin. Um, but in general, at the main dining room, what I would do is if let's say they're having osobuco, a New York strip, and lobster, and maybe a chicken dish that you are choosing from on the menu. Plus, you have a choice of appetizers. Usually, I'll get escargot or a shrimp cocktail, or you can just arrange with the waiter, even though it's not necessarily on the menu, and just say, could you bring me shrimp cocktail every day for my appetizer? And a lot of times they're able to accommodate that. You'd be surprised what they can accommodate, and it's really great. But yeah, ribeye, like a real good quality ribeye for them to have on the menu every single day. Now that doesn't happen, but they have. The buffet will have carving stations, and it's very easy to get a lot of meat on a cruise ship. But you also have to put your blinders on and walk past the dessert buffet because that can be a trigger for people. Also, they've got soft serve ice cream, at lots of different places. And again, you have to say, it's not my food. It's not my food. I don't want to go home feeling like I've self-sabotaged. I've made, and like, how many people start really getting strict about their eating plan prior to the trip because they're getting in shorts and a bathing suit, and then just all for naught because it's back in the trough. You're back at the trough again on the trip, and then it's very frustrating. So, hi, Mackie. I love. Hi, Laura. So Laura says, here we go. Slow burn is so effective. It really is. And I'm gonna, I will continue to talk about it. And we have Fred Hahn, who's coming to the Northeast meetup uh, that I host every year here in New Jersey. So it's September 7th this year, and he will be there to talk for hour. We're there for about 4 hours. And Dr. Robert Kiltz is going to be there again, and we'll have a nice Q&A. It's a really, really fun experience. Oh, look at this. Janny says, I'm signing up for your cruise tomorrow. Oh, you're signing up for the cruise tomorrow okay, so I got it. You have a friend to share the cabin. So that's the one thing that gets a little tough for a lot of people with going on a cruise is that they are based on double occupancy. There are some cruise lines that have a solo section and you get a very tiny inside cabin and you won't pay double like you would being solo in a regular cabin. But it's so great to find somebody to go with you. So I created a WhatsApp chat group called Cruise Carnivore Doctor, I forget what, Cruise Roommate Finder. And there's, I think, 32 people in there right now. And there's already been people who have matched up and made the phone call to our cruise coordinator, Rick, and I've already booked their rooms. So that's great, Janny. Um, yeah, so yeah, he's off on Sunday and Monday, so he's in full booking mode now. He's been doing a great job for us. Um, yeah, so Laura is going on the cruise too. So Val M, we are not talking about the low carb cruise. We are talking about moi, carnivore doctor, just decided on a whim one night to pick a cruise and organize a group cruise, meaning a whole bunch of cabins are held at a certain group rate. And that I called it Carb Sober Cruise. And it is intended for us to gather like minded people. You are all going to receive one of those silicone wristbands, and I'm having it embossed with Carb Sober Cruise, Carnivore Doctor. And I'm even thinking, I have to see if I can do this, but on the inside of it, I'm thinking it's going to say hashtag allergic to seed oils. How cool would that be? So we're going to see how, I got to see if I can get that done and what the cost of all that'll be. But I'm going to be handing out these bright aqua. I picked aqua because blue ocean, Caribbean blue is one of my favorite colors. Everybody's going to get a band on that first little meeting. I'm having Rick set aside a meeting room for us just the first morning after our first night at sea. And we'll have a little intro meeting and everybody will get the band so that wherever you are on the ship, whether you're on the sport deck, whether you're in the restaurants or on at the port, if you decide to go out to the beach, you can spot somebody who's in our tribe and just feel very safe and comfortable striking up conversation because you know they're with us. And yeah, and there's no all day lectures. The low carb cruise, you are in the conference room on the sea days because that's the draw, is to go and see different people speak, like Maria Emmerich and Craig Emmerich and um, I forget who else. And I'll probably be one of the speakers at some point on the low carb cruise. I was asked, and yeah, it's a long story, but I decided to do a cruise that did not involve all day lecture. But I am also reserving the conference, like a little meeting room. I think just there's a second day at sea. So maybe at like 9 in the morning, maybe before we all go off to brunch. And I will do at whatever, we're going to have discussions about this because I'm going to be doing some live Zooms before the cruise. And I will be also active in the chat. We have a chat, Carb Sober Cruise chat for the people who are signed up for the cruise, who are in there talking. But we can decide. I can do a carb sober sugar food addiction presentation. I can do a visual ocular health on keto carnivore presentation. I can do whatever it is you want, or just have a fun Q&A, which would be great too. And maybe just, an hour and a half, and then off we go. We just are enjoying our trip. And that's the point, is to really have the feel of, we are not alone in this. We are with others who are very happy that you're sitting there eating meat and declining the breadbasket off of your table. Oh, hi, Jean. Oh, yeah, Laura. So you helped me out. February 1st to 7th is the cruise. Okay, Erica Clark, who's in my group. Yes, you must come on the cruise. Um, it's Yeah, I'm hoping this is the start of doing one every year, and we can, the people who come, and if it all goes as spectacular as I think it will, we can continue in that cruise chat group, and you can help me decide the itinerary of the next one and the cruise line. Um, Let's see. I'm going to keep going down here with some more questions. Fred Simpson says, hello, love your videos. Thank you. My wife and I have had trouble trying to conceive. We've been on carnivore 2 months, wondering if she should continue using progesterone in the luteal phase. All right. So I have to tell you, I hope that you both are very connected in with Dr. Robert Kiltz. He goes live at 5 to 6 a.m. Monday through Friday Eastern time. I know it's really early. Um, and he also does a fertility fireside chat live, I believe, every Sunday. But you have to hook in with him because he's really truly the expert on this, and he's so good at answering questions, and he's so passionate about helping couples to conceive. So definitely, it's Kiltz, Kiltz, Robert Kiltz. All right, let me just scroll up, see if I have any other questions in here. Uh, So, Phyllis, you said you're actually 3 days into Lion. Not sure how long it'll last, but I can suck it up, Buttercup. Yeah. You know, um, the derailing thing typically of Lion is when you are trying to socially deal with it, because it'd be one thing if you were just isolated in your own home and you didn't have any social events, dinner engagements, friend kind of things, because I know that's what kind of has tripped me up in the past. But it didn't trip me up. It was a matter of either turning down some things, or I had some friends that picked a restaurant. Um, this was when I was doing Lion, I guess it was a couple of months ago now. And I called the restaurant because online, when I went onto the menu, I couldn't believe it. It's Italian, but they usually always have some sort of steak, and the online menu didn't. And then I called and I said, "Do you have some sort of lamb or beef on your menu?" No, we don't. It's sometimes on our special menu, but it's not tonight. And I said, okay. So my friends actually picked a different restaurant for me, which was great. And that's kind of how it has to happen, because it is really um, socially awkward to be that limited in what you're eating. But for the most part, every restaurant will have burgers or a steak, and it's not that difficult. So, all right, I'm going to jump off, and I wish you all a good night's sleep. Remember to get your morning sunlight in your eyes and do some grounding if you can. Spend time outside. It's so important. It really, really is. And get your steps in. That's another thing. I'm going to do another step bet challenge, and I have to figure out when that's going to be. But all right. Thanks so much for joining in. I hope I see you in the membership group for the August challenge. That would be great to have you. And also the cruise. All right. Bye, guys.